So good afternoon, everybody. Me and Ollie are out walking. It's been a while since I've posted anything. I think I'm going to start posting a little bit more. I've been a little bit more active in the training world again. That's just the way it is. But perhaps you've seen a short video of me talking about the benefits of using a small-time trainer, small business trainer over the big box store trainers is what I call them. And the big box store trainers, something looks like this. They got a nice parking lot. You drive in, got your dog on a leash. You've made an appointment to go in there. Sometimes maybe on a Saturday or something like that. And you'll go inside. And you'll see a big training floor inside. You'll see probably agility equipment. You'll see benches with possibly dogs on those benches and people working with dogs. Maybe a few of the trainers working with dogs with shirts on with logos. And someone will sit down with you. And this is all proper stuff. Someone will sit down with you and talk about your dog's behavior or possibly a puppy that you got and you just want to have some puppy training. Now, I can only speak from experience myself through working at a big box store, and I think it's a good thing for all trainers to work at these places because you get lots of experience. You see different types of dogs, different behaviors. You just get a wide plethora of canine. And, you know, as a trainer in a big box store, you'll probably be getting, depending on how many dogs, it'll be split evenly. So you might have anywhere from 4 to 6 dogs that you're working with. Maybe a new trainer might just have one under instruction. But anyway, back to the evaluation. The head trainer probably will sit down with you since they're the ones that are going to be pushing the deal why you need training. And then they'll discuss a date and you'll sign a contract. And the contract will include the days training's going to take place, a vet, permission to treat your dog if something happens, because dog training is a sport. Injuries do happen. It's kind of rare, but yeah, they do happen. And let's see what else might be on there. Anyway, every contract is unique to that place. So you're going to sign a contract. You're going to pay for boarding, which usually runs between $30, $40. Some places are pretty more expensive, but and then the training is probably of equal value. And so let's say you agree. Well, let me back up to the puppy real quick. Say you have a puppy and you want to take your puppy into a big box store and you want puppy training. You can get that, but it's highly unlikely that they do potty training, which is a huge part of training puppy. But the puppy will be definitely crate trained. And they will have some basic obedience, which includes the sits and downs, climbing on a bench. Maybe a little heeling. Heeling's advanced, but maybe a little bit of heeling. Walking politely on a leash, not pulling. All these things. Maybe a little extended sits and downs, things like that. And for the money that you're going to be spending, and believe me, you can go online and look, you can confirm all this, that you're going to be spending over $2,000 at a big box trainer. A lot of them keep your dog for 21 days. And the reason for that is when the day comes and you drop your dog off for training, your dog will go straight up to a kennel in the back somewhere, maybe upstairs, wherever they have their kennels, and there'll probably be 100 dogs in there, maybe more. The one I worked at had 200, I think, something like that. 200 kennels with access to the outdoor. There'll be fans running in there, a bowl and a cot, and a bunch of other dogs. So let's talk about that first. Your dog will probably, if it doesn't already have this issue, will learn to bark, because there'll be a bunch of barking dogs up there. Number two, if there's any kind of kennel cough or something like that, that stuff spreads like wildfire, right? And all it takes is one dog to come in with kennel cough and our Bordetella, which they're usually vaccinated for. They should be, but that doesn't matter, because they're still going to get Bordetella. My experience is I've had one of my border collies had Bordetella 3 times, and it's not fatal. It's just like having the flu for a dog. They run a fever, their eyes get all gunked up, and their nose drips. They get a cough, and that's why they call it kennel cough. And it lasts probably a week or so, and then you got to give them a week off because they're still healing up, and that takes away from any training. And sometimes they will or will not call you. If kennel cough does break out in there, they'll sanitize it. It's a big deal, trust me. And they might keep your dog and not say anything, and then just do a rush job on your dog. That's a possibility. Seen that before. So that's the first step that's going to happen to your dog. Then your dog will be assigned to a trainer. This trainer may, like I mentioned earlier, might have 4 to 6 dogs. So their day consists of rotating dogs in and out of that kennel. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? What are you going to do? You're making money. You have to rotate the dogs. I used to just take 3 dogs out if I had 4 dogs. I tried not to take any more, but depending, I would put one on the bench, I'd put one on the floor, and I'd put them in a down position. They're being trained. That's their job. Every dog has a job. Then I would take the other dog out, and I would do sits and downs, recalls. I'd run through the whole gamut, probably 10 minutes of training. That dog would go on the bench. I'd break the one off the bench, train that one, and just rotate them. And then the one that was still up in the kennel, if I had 4, was usually my go-home dog. That was like on its last couple days of training, and I would really work hard on that dog, spend a lot of time with it. But for the most part, your dog will be in a kennel more than out being trained. That's my point. And that's just the nature of the game. So that's why they'll have your dog for 21 days, because they're not getting continuous training. And that's pretty much the deal with the big box trainers. And there's nothing wrong with that, because a lot of people don't have access to small trainers like myself. And when I say small, there was a time at my facility when it started getting big, and I would only take maybe a dozen to 15 dogs. And it was, to me, I was getting away from the quality part of it, so I started cutting down on all of that. Now I'll take 1 or 2 dogs every 2 weeks, and I get to keep them out of their kennels. They're with me all the time, 24/7. That's a benefit. If they're puppies, they're being potty trained not to go in a house or a home. They're usually kenneled at night near, so I can hear any barking. I can get up and take them out. Uh, but they get basically one-on-one training with me for, it takes me 9 days, and I can have a dog completely trained up, sitting downing and doing a really good job, solid. But something happens around the 12-day mark where the dog will be like, okay, I've been doing this for a while, and it's a dog's job to see what they can get away with. So then they're going to start going through these motions of, I'm not going to do that, and see what happens. And then that's the reinforcement stage. And then that all starts over again when the dog goes home, because dogs are very geographical. And once they get into their true home environment, they've been in mine for 14 days, they're going to start it all over again. It's frustrating for the owner. But what I do is I offer in-home training lessons where I'm going to go to the owner's house and work with them, because the dog is going to know all the commands. It's going to know how I feel. We've created a language together. Now it's my job to teach that language and create a relationship, a new relationship with the dog and the owner. Big box stores, they'll offer probably, the one I worked at, we offered 3 free lessons, and then you had to drive your dog in, probably make an appointment for the most part, and then go over sits and downs and leash handling and things like that. So I come to you usually. That's just me. I don't know how other small trainers are, but that's just the way I do business. And I continue that process because I'm not taking on a bunch of dogs. So if somebody calls me a couple weeks later and says, "Look, man, my dog started doing this, such and such behavior," and I might ask a few questions. Well, what are you doing and how are you handling it? Okay, I'll be by 4 o'clock work for you, Wednesday or whatever the day is. And yep, okay. So, and yeah, keep in mind, most people are working, so they don't have a lot of time. So I have to work around other people's schedules, but that's the way it works for me. So there are some other things that happen in the big box trainer world where when your dog, if you decide to use one of those facilities, while they're kenneled, they'll get a bowl, they'll get fed, and they'll get a bowl of water. Me, I like to feed by hand. I'm not saying that I train. I'm a click and feed trainer. I'm not that at all. Where's he running off to? He's on to something. But I like to feed by hand if I'm just sitting there with them, because it takes away any food aggression. I want the hands to be... Where do you go? I want my hands to be positive for affection and for feeding, but not for nipping on. Same with other body parts. Did you get him? This is his favorite thing to do. Chase varmints. It's crazy. But, so, now something that I used to do as a smaller trainer, private trainer, is I would do group lessons, and I used to offer agility lessons for anybody that wanted to come in, which means I didn't take your dog. Sometimes I did. You know, if it wasn't working out in group lessons, I'd say, give me your dog, I got time. I'll keep him for 5 days. I'll get him going, and then we'll continue on with the group lessons. And it was much cheaper. And honestly, most of my clients did it for therapy. They liked working with their dogs. And, you know, it was a hard thing for me to shut down my facility because of my clients. I got such a good relationship with them. But I had been doing it for a while. And I moved and had to shut everything down, and now I'm kind of in the new area I'm in. The word got out that this is what I do, so I'm starting to get, well, I have been getting more phone calls, so the process is kind of starting up again. But my point is, I'm not really offering group lessons right now. I might consider that. I have a field I could work with at a later date, but I kind of like having my Saturdays off, to be honest with you. But the big box stores or dog training places, they have all kinds of cool, like, agility classes. They have group lessons. They have tracking. They have Schutzen clubs. They have, like, all these neat things, for the most part, for you to do with your dog. And I used to offer those things, but my focus just became obedience for the most part. And I think that's about it. I mean, what am I at? 16 minutes. Just a few things. And I'm not saying that is the gospel. There's a lot of small business trainers out there. I will throw this in there. Okay. So in my state, anybody could be a trainer. You really have to watch out for that and do your homework. Ask them for certificates. Ask them what schools they've been to, who they trained under. Research who this person is. Go online, check them out. Make sure that they're legit. And they do what they say they are. Because you can get an education online now to be a dog trainer, which to me is freaking nuts. I, myself, would rather have somebody with hands-on experience. Maybe they, some of these trainers started off in hunting clubs, and their dad was a trainer. He trained retrieves and worked with beagles or whatever, duck dogs. Those guys are really good too, because they don't have no formal education, but they're doing it. You know, check those guys out. There's another facility. I'd give him a shout out, but I don't know if he'd appreciate that. He's not far from me, and he does duck dogs, and he's got a really good operation going, and he has a proven track record of having some winning dogs come out of his kennels for competition, stuff like that. So just because they have a certificate with a bunch of letters behind it saying what, this is what they got, their certificates or whatever they call, that doesn't mean nothing. Because a lot of them honestly don't know what they're doing, and a lot of them are click and train trainers, and I mean, there's a time and place for that, but for me, that's not my jam. I want to build a relationship with my dog personally, not just through food. But yeah, you can replace the food with play, in my opinion. I'd rather do that. But anyway, I'm gonna get off here. Been rambling almost 20 minutes. I just want to throw some ideas at anybody because Christmas is coming up. Christmas puppies will be here soon. And don't buy anybody a puppy for Christmas unless you've discussed it. That happens too. I wouldn't want that to happen to me. But anyway, y'all have a great day. If you got any questions or comments, you can comment, I don't know, below or whatever it is. And there's a possibility that if you don't have a trainer near you, that a smaller trainer, and you don't want to use a big box trainer, maybe I could, I know a lot of people have done it from Virginia all the way to California, so I can get in touch with some good trainers that are really good to help you out. All right, that's it.